The Hometown Foundation is excited to bring back the Dream Ride experience, August 26th to the 28th at Connecticut's Farmington Polo Club. Join us in celebrating the accomplishments of our Dream Riders while enjoying live music, a car and motorcycle show, family fun zone, pet adoptions, canine demonstrations, the Fireman's Chili Cook-Off, and much more. Get your tickets today.
Go ahead and play the clip.
Series 1982. Keeson and Vukovic went all the way. A drive into left center and deep. McGee with the shades down at the wall. Gone. Ball looked like it was up. Out over the plate, he went and he got it and pulls it. That's just sheer work by Kevin Mitchell, who just came out for a curtain call. He was having trouble hitting the ball.
Yep, I remember it like it was yesterday. Kevin Mitchell, when he was playing for the San Francisco Giants. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and bring in former New York Met, former San Francisco Giant, among some other teams like the Reds, I believe the Mariners, just to name a few. Two-time All-Star, 1989 NL MVP. Let's welcome in Kevin Mitchell. Kevin, how you doing tonight?
Hey, bud. How you doing, Larry? Everything's good, huh?
Things are going great, Kevin. Let me ask you, Kevin, the pitches and catches, full squads are there by tomorrow. At this time of year when you were playing baseball, I mean, I would just imagine, as much as you played the game, that you were pretty antsy to get to camp, get going, see the players again. For the most part, when you got to camp, what type of condition were you in and what were you looking to accomplish? You were a veteran ball player. What were you looking to accomplish during spring training to get you ready for the season?
Well, I think, when I did go to spring training, I try to get myself already ready before I got to spring training. I think a lot of the ball players now are pretty much conditioned when they got there. I think, earlier they get a couple of at-bats and then they're done for the day. They get their work in. I think it's a lot of the veteran players that they know what it takes to get their self together and get ready for the season.
Now, talk about your early career. You're with the New York Mets. You're a rookie. I know you played a little bit in 84, but you were considered a rookie in 1986. And, you come up as a rookie and you contributed not just in the World Series, which everybody remembers, of course, that World Series versus the Red Sox, but you hit 12 homers. You have close to 50 RBIs. When did you feel that year? I mean, you were playing with a bunch of great players on that 80, and also a bunch of wild guys on that 86 team. When did you feel when you got there that, hey, I can play with these guys? I belong here.
Well, I'll tell you what, like you said, I played with a bunch of guys that was great ball players, good ball players, real good. And I think to get the opportunity to play behind those guys helped me out a lot to learn more about the game. I was taught a lot by Keith Hernandez, and I'm a watcher. If I'm on that bench, I'm learning something still, even though I'm not in the game. I think playing in New York, able to play in New York, in the city of New York, earlier in my career helped me to go on to play in other ballparks. I think those fans there in New York are great fans. And if you can't play in New York, you can't play nowhere else.
Yeah, I would agree 100% with that. Now, you had a lot of different characters, not just on the field, but off the field as well. How were you able your first year? Because it seemed like as much fun as those guys had off the field, it was a very, very tight, close-knit group among the players.
Those guys, playing with that team there and the bench that we had, and we had some character. I learned to be a character on that team because when I first came, I was a rookie, like you said, and by being around those guys, they welcomed me into their family, and it helped me out so much to be comfortable there and able to, and I knew my role. And before I even was, before I made that team to come to New York, I knew what I was supposed to do. And they gave me the opportunity to play all those positions where I never played before. So that helped me out so much. So, but it was just, I think I gotta give a lot of thanks to Davey Johnson that really helped me out so much.
Now, Game 6 of the World Series, how can anybody forget it? Probably the most memorable, one of the most memorable games in Major League Baseball history. You come up, you get a huge single, okay? And here's a game where you're down by so many runs in the 10th inning, and it's like a roller coaster. Here you are 1 out away. I think what a lot of people forget, not you, but the people that weren't in that game, that there was 2 outs at the time when you guys started that rally, and it just kept going and going and going. Talk about the, as much as you can remember, Kevin, about the roller coaster of emotions that went on through that inning. You're thinking the World Series is just about over, to having a Game 7 the next night, which you eventually went on to win and win the World Series.
But, playing with that team all year, you could never count us out. We had such a good camaraderie there with players on that team. But we had another team on that bench, another good squad on that bench. Hojo, Tim Tuffle, Rafael Santana, Kevin Elster. All of us was on that bench. We was backup players at the time. So I think by that inning, when that happened, I think a lot of the players knew we wasn't out of the game until it was over. Like they old saying, until the fat lady sings. Personally, I felt that I wasn't going to make the last out, because you got to realize, in New York, you either got to be the hero or the zero. And at that time, it wasn't no zeros at the time. Everybody had the confidence before they went up to the plate, and they knew what they wanted to do.
And after that game, you go on to win. The next night, I don't think there was any doubt in anybody's mind who was going to win that game after that roller coaster of emotions. But you guys come out, you beat the Red Sox, your rookie year, your World Series champ. People don't get that opportunity in a lifetime. You have it your first year. Talk about that, just that feeling of winning it all, especially on the biggest stage in New York.
Like I said, man, I was very thankful, man, to play with a bunch of players like that, and still to this day, I'm thankful, and I'm blessed to know these guys and still keep in touch with everybody. So, but it was just New York is a winning town. I don't care if it's the Mets or the Yankees. It's such a showcase where I got to give it to the fans there. They the one who put all the energy that we put out on that field. Man, the fans in New York is just unbelievable.
Yeah, and I had the pleasure of living there 13 years. Of course, I grew up in Long Island as a Met fan, through the rough years, through some of the great years as well. And, the next year, for some reason, for whatever it was, you end up leaving New York. And you ended up in San Diego. I believe it was San Diego before San Francisco.
Yes.
Trying to remember, because I followed you your whole career. And then you got a little gutsy with me and started switching teams too quickly, so I couldn't keep up with you that long.
Hey, that wasn't my fault. I hated to do it.
But you didn't. I know you were having some issues maybe with the coaching style of Larry Bowa in San Diego. Let's talk about that quickly. Then I want you to talk about, you go over to San Francisco. Just amazing team, young guys they have. But you're not the young guy anymore, even though you're young. You're pretty much, you have the Will Clarks, who similarly played as much as you did, Matt Williams. And in 1989, you didn't have a bad 1988 with the Giants. I think you hit 19 homers that year, 80 RBIs. So nothing but, I would call terrible. But you go off in 89. You hit 40-something homers, You have, I think, 125 RBIs. I think Will Clark and you both had over 100 RBIs on that team that year. But what was it that clicked? I mean, what happened between San Diego and San Francisco that clicked? Because when you went off, and I mean, you can tell it because when a player's playing well, they get in a streak that it doesn't matter whether you're playing offense or defense, you're in sync. And you just had a year that you ended up winning the MVP that year as well. Talk about the difference from San Diego to San Francisco and what it was, if anything, that got you going.
For one thing, I mean, in San Francisco, man, like I said, there were some guys. I mean, when I first got there and came in, I came in with Dave Dravecky and Greg Lefferts, and I was more than welcome there. I came there and played in Chicago without no name on my back and wearing number 9, and they welcomed me into the family. Man, I was hitting second in the lineup, which, you know, I'm pretty much, I know I'm a gap-to-gap hitter, but I think Roger Craig gave me a speech that right before the game and told him you're part of the family and come and play the game like you're supposed to be played. So, and playing with Will Clark, man, is I think anybody that I played with in my career, I would go to war with Will Clark. Because playing with him on the field, I competed against him on the field. I always told myself, he hit a single, you hit a double. So I always competed against Will. And that's what made me the better ball player, you know, a good ball player that year.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you definitely had an unbelievable year. 2 years on the All-Star, back-to-back years. And, you know, first year you play with the Mets as a rookie, you do the team goal, you get to the World Series. Now the individual of making the All-Star team 2 years in a row. How satisfied were you to know that you were among the greatest players in those years to play the game?
I'm still not satisfied, man. I really ain't. You know, I felt that I didn't finish my career like I wanted to. A lot of injuries came up and just a lot of negative stuff that came off the field too. So, but like I said, you know, I'm very thankful to be, you know, that I played that long, and I was very grateful. You know, I think playing, like I said, I give all my praise to guys that I played with and a coach that I had, was Dusty Baker, that really brought me along over in San Francisco.
Yeah, and Dusty's still managing today, Kevin. I don't know how
he's still like Van Dam, man.
I tell you. All right, now the question everybody asks you, and you know, it's kind of ironic that this, you know, a lot of people remember Kevin Mitchell for this because you were such an offensive powerhouse, but it was this play, and I'll show the fans that haven't seen it. You know, I'm going to pull it up here. There it is. And that way you can take a look at it.
And that's sliced to left field, and it's another chance for Mitchell. And he makes a barehanded catch. In my entire life, I've never seen that happen. Look at that. I feel like you're not alone. You gotta be kidding me. Well, I'll tell you something. You heard the pre-game interview in which he said Willie Mays has been helping him with his outfielding. Willie Mays, the only other guy I know that's ever done that. Got to be the play of the year.
And I tell you what, it was definitely the play of the year. But the amazing thing about that, when I listened to you, I remember, I don't know if it was a couple of days, a couple of weeks afterwards, you told the media or whoever you were talking to is, the reason I made such an unbelievable catch is because I misplayed the ball. And, you know, when you look at that play, I mean, to catch a ball, you know, it's coming up barehanded in general. I mean, talk about all the accolades you got for making that one catch.
You remember when you was a little kid, man, and you played in the boys' clubs, and you played wiffle ball. You didn't have no glove, you know. And I mean, I don't know how in the hell did I do that, but it happened. But I think we was bunching Ozzie Smith in the gap, and I think Kelly Downs was on the mound, and he threw a split finger, and Ozzie ended up slicing it down the line. But with left-handers' balls, they come back into play. And all I can do is run over there and put my head down. By the time I got over there, I knew I couldn't get my glove up in time. I just stuck my hand up. And I really thought I was in foul territory, but the ball was coming back fair.
Yeah, that was just an incredible. And, obviously it's shown all over the place. And I know you get a kick out of it every time you see it. But let's talk about the success you had again in San Francisco. Now from 1986, you make the World Series with the Mets. You get a chance to go back with the Giants. Talk about, as far as the World Series getting there, what was different from your rookie year, being a rookie, that you learned to do that year with the Giants to maybe help ease the emotions a little bit more and to get to the World Series that year? Now from rookie to, let's somewhat call, 4 or 5 year veteran.
The biggest thing is I was starting. And I was a lot more comfortable playing in San Francisco because I had already had those years in. I felt more there than as a rookie. You never know when you can get sent down. So I was more comfortable as the years went by, because I knew I was always, my father always taught me, he said, if you love this game so much, if you want to continue to play, they paying you to hit that little white ball. Go out there and hit that white ball and go have fun about it. And that's all I tried to do. I tried to go out there and have fun every day that I went out on the field. And I tried to I try to play each game like it's my last game on earth. I think I played hurt most of my career. And to this day, I'm still hurt. So,
talk about what a heartfelt thing that happened during the World Series you were part of. A good thing you got to the World Series, but unfortunate, the earthquake there. I mean, talk about the earthquake and the moment, you're playing a game and the next thing you know, pretty much you're going through an earthquake. And from what I understand, a lot of the players, a lot of the fans that were inside that stadium that day didn't really know what was going on outside the stadium yet because everything was just happening. But as we found out later, quite a few people got killed due to the earthquake. Talk about that and the effect. It had to have an effect on you guys. Did you want to go back and play after that?
It just wasn't the time, It wasn't even the time because there was too many love lost and there was too many emotions going on. And I think a lot of people, you got to realize that San Francisco was shook up. And it was just thankful that we came back and played some baseball. But I think a lot of our guys that was on our team wasn't really into it when we came back and played because we didn't play the type of game that we wanted to play against the Bash Brothers, So, and a lot of emotions, was going on. I know during the earthquake, people didn't realize it was an earthquake because they was playing the song "We Will Rock You." And when they playing that song, the fans always stomp their feet. That's where I really thought it was. I was in center field talking to Tony Phillips, but I knew something was going on when I can look up in the press box and see all the TVs going off and on. So as I came over, Willie Mays just said the bridge fell. So that's when it really, it was a really bad situation. And but like I said, I think once baseball started again, it kind of took minds off of what was going on and trying to concentrate on the city now and let baseball continue and try to get it off people's minds.
Yeah, as much as baseball always seems to be the sport that seems to do that, but I remember that vividly. I was watching on ABC with Al Michaels actually turned into a newscaster that night. I remember on TV. But yeah, just a sad situation. Let me ask you about the game today, Kevin. You still follow the Mets or the Giants? I know you're back. I've seen you back at some festivities with the Mets with the 1986 team and stuff.
Well, I just started back getting myself back together. I had a spinal cord injury that put me down for a long time. Put me into paralysis. So, like I said, God is good. I'm up moving around, playing golf, riding my bikes and motorcycles, and just trying to get back to Kevin Mitchell, So, but I've been doing a lot of stuff, man. Hopefully, baseball gets back, to where it was. But the way I feel right now, I don't think our society it'll never get back to number one with a bullet. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I think we're going to be wearing masks the rest of our lives and just trying to stay safe.
Yeah, that's all we can do right now. What do you think about today's game, Kevin? You were a power hitter. Today it seems like the game has changed drastically. They're hitting homers, striking out,
Yeah, me and Mo Vaughn talk a lot. Big Mo.
Yeah, I know Mo.
I don't believe in the way hitters are now. The way they believe in this launch angle. I just don't like it. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the game that it's just don't see in baseball again. They're changing a lot of rules. It's happening right now into this game. As I was growing up, you could take the second baseman out. You can take the catcher out. It's just now you got to olay everything. It's just too many rules. But I guess it's just the way things are going they're trying to protect the players now. I think a lot. Pitching. They only can throw so many innings, so many pitches. I was talking to Goose Gossage one day. He said to me on the bus, he said, you got guys that throw one inning and they're getting paid a lot of money just to strike out one batter. And Goose said, I had to throw 3 innings, 4 innings before I get a save. So, it's just a lot of stuff that goes on. But whatever it is, it's more power to them, So, but I still love the game of baseball. I still watch it a lot. Any game I can go to, I like what San Diego's doing with their team. So hopefully, the city that I'm in, they get a World Series one time.
Yeah, they look like they're definitely going to compete now with that pitching staff they're putting together in San Diego, stealing some of our guys here from Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was a good picked up that lefty. Smiley?
Snell.
Snell. Yeah, I like him. Yeah.
Yep, Cy Young Award winner. Let me ask you this before I let you go, Kevin. If you have to look back, and I know you say you look back sometimes, out of all the things you were able to accomplish as a baseball player, I'm sure there's a few, but what is one main thing that sticks out about all the time that you played?
That I enjoyed the players. I missed the brotherhood, and that's what made it so fun. And being early at the ballpark, just being there, talking, just having fun, basing on each other, talking about each other. You kind of miss that. I'm an old man now, but, I still like going in the clubhouse sometime and, ripping the younger players that don't know me, So, but I was just talking to Willie Mays a couple of months ago, and matter of fact, I just called him 2 weeks ago just to see how he was doing, and he, I think, a lot of us the younger players now, that they don't appreciate what's in front of them now, as we did, as we was growing up.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Well, listen, my friend, I want to thank you so very, very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to.
Oh, no. That's all right. I was just in Palm Springs. That's why when you called me, I was up there playing golf.
I know, yeah, you told me that, but I speak to so many people. You can.
Oh yeah. I see you got a lot of energy, man. I can tell.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's my New York in me, man.
Huh?
That's the New Yorker in me right there.
Yeah, I believe it. You got a lot. You New Yorkers got a lot of energy. When I played New York and I came home back to San Diego, I felt like I was moving in slow motion.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's definitely a fast pace over there. And I spoke to a couple weeks ago. You mentioned Mo Vaughn. I know he has a hitting college or a hitting school there.
He's got a hitting clinic. It's not a clinic. It's where he teaches a lot of kids. He's got cages where he works with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, Mike Eastler was on my show, and I guess he talked.
Oh yeah, the Hitman. Yeah, I love you. I love you. I love the Hitman. I talked to him the other day too with Mo.
Yep.
I talked to him. I remember when he was throwing batting practice for me one year in Boston, when me and Mo was hitting at Mo's house. Mike Eastler would come in and work with us. I hit a line drive off his arm, and he had a contusion on his right arm, big as a softball, and he still kept throwing batting practice to us. That's all I remind him of that the other day. He said, Kevin, I said, man, you act like that didn't hurt. He said, it didn't. It's all in my mind. That's one tough man right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, my friend. Well, thanks again for coming on, and
anytime.
And be safe, buddy. Okay.
Oh, no doubt. I definitely will. You be safe too, and be blessed.
All right. Thank you again.
All right. Take care.
That was two-time All-Star and 1989 NL MVP Kevin Mitchell with us. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll update you on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's take a quick station break.
You're listening to Frankly Speaking Sports with Larry Frank